Hello, lovely people. Thank you for everybody who said this to me. Thank you. Um, Thank you, Sukanya, for letting me know that my audio was not working. I think Zoom has come up with this. As soon as I share a window, when I come back, it says, oh, we've muted the audio. This is a cool new feature they've come up with, and God knows why. What is the value of this? So I'm going to repeat this beautiful story that I said about the car stuff, right? So here I go, show beautiful cars to visiting high schoolers from Riyadh, and I was very excited. I took them to see Waymo's at Waymo parking lot, with Waymo's coming in and out, thanks to David Kerrigan, who shares my passion for watching cars. And then I had the Neuros drive by. And so I was talking about the future of autonomous vehicles. I'm very excited about that. And then I shared this. And tell me if you've seen this already before my audio went off. Otherwise, I'm going to repeat this, guys. For those of you who are watching live and telling me, please tell me, did you hear about the story I told you about the Amazon this thing? Okay. Thank you, people. People are texting me too about the audio. Thank you. Okay, so so where did you guys lose my audio? Was the audio lost right from the beginning? Should I start? Audio okay now? Did you hear the AWS fleet-wise? Did you hear about the AWS IoT fleet-wise? So please tell me you saw it. Otherwise, I will have to repeat that story. So tell me, guys. I don't know, because every time I share something, it goes off. That's so sad. I'm so sad my audio went down and I was talking so cheerfully. That sounds so absurd. Okay, so can somebody confirm to me that you're able to listen to the audio? Just say yes or no, or send some thumbs up or something so I can see it, guys. Thank you for that, and thank you for everybody who pinged me and the messages. I just came and saw a whole bunch of messages here. Thank you so much for it. Okay, so I'm going to repeat some of it unless somebody says okay now. Okay, are you able to see the audio? Can somebody say whether you're able to see the audio, guys? And thank you for everybody who's hanging in there. I still see the number of people who are here, and so many of you who have actually commented and told me stuff. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. Other than you spending your time and hanging around with me, even caring to tell me, I appreciate it. So, okay. So I'm just replying back to somebody who texted me because I was not responding back here on the chat. So I had actually visited a group that was visiting here. Yes, thank you so much. So a group of did the audio go down? Just yeah, did you hear the AWS story? I'm asking. At what stage did my audio go down? And for those of you who are out there in Zoom, when we share a window and you come back, why do you turn off the audio? What is the purpose of that feature? I don't know. Please tell me, because I would like to utilize it. So okay, so thank you for confirming. So I'm going to go to the beginning. So I started this week. I'm here doing this live with you from Boston, and I had started this week visiting a group of students who came to visit Silicon Valley. So I'm usually doing this from Silicon Valley, and I'm visiting Boston this week. So I'm here in Boston just for Sudha Live this week. And so this group of students, high school students, 50 of them came from Saudi Arabia and wanted to know about the future of autonomous vehicles. So I got to talk to them. And I showed them a Neuro self-driving car right outside in Mountain View. So I put that as a link, the video on my LinkedIn, so you can see that. And and then took them to the Amazon, not Amazon, to the Waymo lot, and where they park the Waymos, and then the Waymos are coming in and out, so we got to cheer for them. So I love watching cars, and we're training data when we watch cars, but I still love it. And so that was like the beginning of my week, which was fantastic. But these are the students who are going to go build out the future. And in 2017, I wrote about autonomous vehicles and this 2030 driverless vehicle, driverless world. 2030, driverless world is my book that I wrote in 2017 and taught class for a bunch of students at Stanford, professionals who are out in the industry and innovating everywhere. So lot of my students are very excited, share my excitement for autonomous vehicle. And we have a framework called CASE, called Connected Autonomous Shared Electric. It's not something I created, it's kind of an industry standard. And connected means that it has car connectivity, and it's all about data. And electric is where everybody's going these days. Shared mobility is a business model we're testing out with Uber and all that. And this whole dealers and everybody who is doing, can we create like a shared mobility platform and create a fleet and manage them. So that's kind of the shared mobility piece. Autonomous is to get to fully autonomous. So you can test out a Waymo as a taxi in Phoenix or San Francisco for a fee, like a regular taxi. But everywhere else, it's just training and driving around. So I just get to watch them, and I'm very excited about watching them. And so the students were super excited watching that with me. So it was cool. And we talked about where is the future going, because when I was teaching in 2017, there was a bunch of companies, and they like folded or integrated and acquired and whatever. And then there's like, a few of them who are testing and trying to get to the better tech. And then there is the trucking industry with the platooning trucks that's happening in Europe. That is for energy consumption, that is happening in the AV space. Otherwise, AVs are used for warehouse, like robots, or for delivery robots, and they've kind of taken different shapes and forms. So the technology is developing as autonomous vehicle on the sidewalk, like the KiwiBot, or autonomous vehicles like the ones I was talking about, or in trucking and platooning. And it's kind of fragmented pieces of technology that's evolving, and so we have to get there. And 2030 is my prediction, and it's still quite some ways out, so we'll see. Meanwhile, everybody is trying to get to electric, and everybody has car data, whether they tell us or not. Every car company out there is connected with the SIM, and they're collecting data. So, two things that I want to share. One is an exciting piece of launch that came from Amazon AWS. And I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to make sure that this time my sound is alive. Because, hold on. So, there is basically, let me share that link for those of you who are here with me on LinkedIn. And as soon as I share my screen, if my audio goes off, you guys have to give me a shout again. Okay. So this is the announcement from AWS. It's called IoT Fleetwise. And you can look at the LinkedIn post that I shared. And this is from a colleague of mine from my past, where I have worked with this person. He's a visionary. His name is Mike Zama Lucas. And he is somebody who had created a startup and has a vision of creating perception software to let the cars tell you what's happening in the road and communicate, and using computer vision, right? So that's kind of his vision, and he did a startup, and I was part of that many years back. And he is now he's heading AWS Automotive, and his team has launched AWS IoT Fleetwise. Again, I don't have a personal affiliation with any brand of any company, including AWS, but I'm super excited about this because we spoke about this in our class about data and connectivity and digital twins. And we spoke about this, when some car company was trying to replace um, the mirrors with cameras, and we said, how would they do that? And when the cameras are connected cameras, it has to collect data. Is it going to sit in the edge? Is it analytics? Is it going to the cloud? And how do they manage that? And this IoT fleet wise will make that happen for Amazon, using Amazon's cloud easily, right? And that didn't exist when we were talking in 2017. And so we had a bunch of discussion about this in my subsequent classes around that time. So that was one discussion. So I posted that, I had, like, I always see these new things we spoke about many years back. So those of you who were my students in the either the business of self-driving car class or this autonomous vehicle bootcamp class, you're visionaries, and I know many of you are doing some amazing things. I'm very proud of you, and I'm like looking to how you will use this or something like this, and what are you going to do about it. So that's why I shared that. And we've had discussions about this also in Weekly Wednesday in couple different scenarios. So I'm very happy to see something like that when something like that happens. So that's the good side of my excitement about value from data and connectivity. Then all the car companies are collecting data using connectivity, and they're not telling us about it. What does that mean for our own privacy? So Amazon had produced a report. So it was called Privacy Not Included Buyer's Guide. And this week that blew up. That report was reviewed by US Congress, and the companies were called out saying, explain this. Is this real? Why was it a big deal? So usually, like, we all, especially in US, we don't have GDPR. We have we have the California privacy protection, which is like GDPR for California. We have that for different states laws, but we don't have like a whole privacy law. So we have to opt out of things. And so Tesla blatantly in their privacy policy has said, if you want to disconnect and opt out of this, call us. There's no button. Everything is a button, and in the app you can do, but this is not a button that they've offered. And they said, call us. And if you did, you cannot get over there update. A lot of functionality will go. You can't even listen to the radio on the Tesla. And essentially this, like, even like basic functionality of Tesla, a lot of it will not work because it's built as a software on wheels with dependent on connectivity. So they did not design for connectivity in a privacy preserving way, assuming somebody would want to use the car for which they paid, but not give their data and not care about it. And I want to call this out. And then you thought that was worse. Then I'll tell you another company that has a worse category of, and this is in the report from Mozilla. So there is another company. Let me find that out, because I did the previous version with you and I just thought, okay, I am done. I don't need to keep this window open. So I'm going to find that back again for you, because can you guess what other company would be doing something worse than this? I mean, don't go by the company name or anything else like that. It is like they have privacy policy, and they are basically got they're asking us to write off uh, collecting data about us in different categories. What could it be? So I'm going to share my window. Hopefully my audio will still work, and if it doesn't, I'll come back and we'll make it work, because we did it last time. Okay, so are you able to hear me? Somebody please tell me you're able to hear me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the share, and I believe there is an option to share without sharing the audio. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go share this, and I'm not going to allow them to share my audio. Okay, so now tell me, you should be able to see me, see the screen. So this is the Mozilla report. Cars are the worst product category for privacy is what this article is from Mozilla. And they've collected a lot of privacy information, and they sell their information, sell our information. 84% share our information. So all this is like shocking information. And then what I told you about the Tesla one is here. If you no longer wish for us to collect vehicle data, please contact us to deactivate, and this may result in vehicles suffering from reduced functionality, serious damage, and interoperability. And then who's worse than that? What could be worse than that, right? So here is a category from Nissan. Nissan basically has the creepiest categories where they're trying to get our consent, and we are signing this off. I've driven a Nissan Leaf and I did not know about this. And it says there is one category that they said it includes your sexual activity. It also mentioned they can collect information about your sex life in their privacy policy. And it is not just them, six companies are collecting. They say they can collect our genetic information or genetic characteristics. So I want to pause. I want to come back. I'm on audio. Awesome. So I want to see if people have like a shocking emoji to share with me because I was so shocked. I was so shocked. Uh, and I'm this big enthusiast about this whole car space, right? So it's like so unfair for me to kind of tell you about how amazing everything and how we should be doing this and that. And then um, we are actually giving away our data, and the companies have this information that they're collecting and sharing, and it just seems so wrong. So I think it would be very irresponsible of me to actually share all this excitement with you and not do anything about it, right? I cannot just tell you only the good stuff. I've told you I'll bring you the reality that's out there. So this is the reality that's out there, guys. That's unbelievable. So I want to know if anybody has some questions, comments, anything that you want to share. I see a lot of you watching this, and a lot of you helped me figure out when my audio went down with the share. So if there is anything that you want to say, maybe this is the time. I would like to hear from you. Yes, comments. Okay, I'm just going to refresh because that will allow me to see the comments. That is shocking. Yes, thank you, Brent. Our biggest concern about digital business innovation. Yes, I mean, for me, I actually thank you for sharing that, Brent. I appreciate that. But my biggest concern was not even um, that the companies did that, right? It was creepy that somebody sat, like I always say this to my students. When you hear any about any technology, a new jargon, and you say they does this, and if you're not coding, especially when you find like rag and words, new words, right? You find that intimidating, right? And you try to understand what it is. And like that, for anything you hear it, and now all this is, we are the data, right? It is our data, everything is built with our data. So it's easy for us to say, wait a minute, what are you doing? Poke around and find out. I was talking to a friend about how Tesla collects data in the car, and all these Tesla users are giving the data, and they have an API, and there are some third party companies who are saying, give me your API and I will consolidate all the data from various different Tesla cars and then create dashboards. At least I know of three such sites, and people are doing that, right? And they're like comparing and saying, how much mileage did you get, and what happened, right? And how much charge did your car hold, and there are a lot of different things, right? Which version upgrade did you get, and all that, like very nerdy discussions going on in there. But by giving up their access to their car data using their APIs to some unknown third party person in good faith, right? So a lot of those things happen, but this is without consent. They are actually collecting the information, sharing the information. So the point about digging deeper when you hear any jargon, right? For me, I like to go to that situation. I would like to put myself and say, if I was in this company, and I'm just going back to my corporate past, having worked in technology industry, nothing is done by one person, not even the CEO would get fired for the worst of situations. But there's a group of people who all come together and get buy-in from each other, and generally they are nice people, right? And they are doing their job. Most people I've worked with are very passionate about their jobs, whatever their functions, right? And so people would fight for their customers, that they would fight for the right way of helping the company make money, and they would collaborate with each other. They will have respect for each other. So when a privacy policy which looks so sick has been written up, it has been written up by somebody asked somebody to write it, somebody wrote it. This was not the chat GPT days that it just wrote something and they just shipped it off. This was done. Legal reviews everything very meticulously. They don't want to be sued. What is their liability? And so they must have said, we are collecting such information in the car, we better include that. Is what somebody in legal did that, right? That means somebody is collecting that information, somebody knows about it, had a discussion, and said, let's put it in our privacy policy to check off. Because and they did not stop to think, is customer going to notice this and say, I'm going to collect information about your sexual activity and or your DNA? Are they going to come scream? Where are they going to go? Right? And so they did not even think about it. And think about car companies especially care a lot about their brands. And so I'm hoping, some car companies will respond back to the US senator who has called this out and said, okay, is this real? Tell me what's going on. That happened this week. Thanks to Mozilla's effort on this. And they cited Mozilla's report. And let's see what they come up with. But and especially when, since I have students who are in various different roles, and I say, you all come together, you build AI. We don't have privacy policies for AI on algorithmic transparency and a lot more things. There's a lot of talk we do about regulation, we have nothing. And so I always say, you have to have some morality, and you have to have the smarts to figure out that anything you build could be misused. You have to have the morality on how you make things inclusive, so that you can go to bed when you know your product is out in the market and sleep peacefully, right? And so and there are various different roles of people. You don't need ethics officers only to think that this kind of privacy policy is bad or this kind of data collection is bad, but everybody involved needs to play a part in it. And so I hope that for wherever you are, whatever else you're building, that we would get to a better place. I mean, one extreme of doing this kinds of offsets the potential of good things that can happen with data and technology. If that can be done with the right balance, then we could do, to go to that wonderful place, which is all the promise that we can get to with cars, mobility, and data and AI. So coming back to AI, one of the hot topics. So at Weekly Wednesday, which is our global speaker series, we have been doing a webinar series on NLM. I did 4 rounds of webinars last week. This week, 2 days back, Yashashwini, our AI researcher, she ended up doing a session on RAG, and RAG is the hottest new topic in the AI world. Okay, I'm going to refresh my this thing. So, comment here, many young people, professionals claim they don't care about their data being shared. Um, so I'm not sure. I think younger generation, especially the generation which has grown up with apps, are much more savvy about privacy. And I also think privacy is one of those very personal things where uh, sharing your location might not be good for you, might be okay for them. Or somebody who's sharing how they feel, and they connect with a whole bunch of people who are like out to build a support structure for them, might be okay with them, might not be okay for somebody. So I think we've already reached a place where what was shocking in terms of sharing things out in public, there's like a generational shift. I remember I used to like post a lot on Twitter before it became X. And I used to get up in the morning and say good morning peeps on Twitter. Everywhere I went, I would post, and my location would be visible. And there were people, and I did not fit the page profile of the actual people who were like kind of thinking this was okay. But still, I think my privacy level would be much more closed compared to some of the things that's out there. Like, I was shocked, and do not want to encourage the kind of privacy policies and how the data is being shared, and without consent, what is being done in US specifically, I would say. So I'm hoping that we get to a better place with that. But thank you for sharing your comment, I appreciate that. So one of the I want to tell you about RAG. RAG is the hottest new topic in the world of AI. But there are a couple things. So when we are talking about privacy preserving, remember we spoke about um, uh, the prompt engineering and things you can do that could that by with the right prompt, a large language model, LLM, could be poisoned, right? There could be a security hack and things like that. And there was one this week from Patrick Lynn, and I'm a big fan of Patrick. And Patrick is the author of Machine See, Machine Do, and he's spoken in my class. Again, I'm going to share my window, and if my audio goes off from Zoom, I'm going to be so mad at Zoom. Okay. So here we go. Okay, so when I share a window and if I say allow the audio from that window to be heard on Zoom, then when I come back to Zoom, they don't know how to take control of audio. I found out that's the problem. Okay, Zoom, you've got to fix this for me. You've got to fix this for everybody else who's going to share windows and show interesting things. Okay, so I hope you're able to hear me, guys. So this is Patrick Lynn. Thank you, Patrick, for sharing this. So this is a piece that he shared, something called data poisoning tool that helps artists protect their work. Remember, in this whole world of LLM, the LLMs are basically taking stolen property, artists' work, and just training AI without their permission. There are billions of images that are used by diffusion models, and they are generating AI, right? And so there is a new technology called Nightshade from the University of Chicago. It's a data poisoning tool. And what they do is it changes the image's pixel in such a way. Remember, you can do like a watermark in a document. So if somebody took your document, you or on a photo, you know that it was, it has a watermark. So then it's like it's obvious that it's stolen. Here in the pixel, in the point of the image, they have actually created some change that when you look at it as a normal human, you cannot see this. And So if the AI is trained on these poison samples, the invisible features will gradually corrupt the model. So essentially, it's like punishing the AI. It's like punishing the AI for being trained on stolen content. I don't know where we are going with this, but thank you, Patrick, and thank you for to the University of Chicago team. And Patrick himself comments that now that they've come up with this, there's some on the other side they're going to figure out how to track these pixels and still make these models not get corrupt. So that's the place we are. It's almost like a fight of good and bad, and if that doesn't bring God into the picture, I don't know what will bring it. So, one of the interesting news that was shared this week, and I'm not joking, I actually thought this was a joke when I saw this first. And then I was told this is not a joke. So let me tell you. So when we are thinking about AI and we are saying, okay, is this artificial general AI? Is it going to be smart and smarter than humans and whatnot? I don't believe we are anywhere near AGI, and all the hype of AGI is just capitalism trying to, scare you. Uh, Here is an interesting news that came, and I have to read it out. Give credit to Ravit Dolan because she worded it so beautifully. So, have you heard of the religion of artificial intelligence? It's a thing. So, this is called the church. Meet the church of the way of the future. WOTF. This rolling on the floor laughing has a similar acronym, right? That's what I did when I heard this. So, the Way of the Future is the name of the church, and they filed for religious status with the US IRS, our Revenue Service, and they formed a non-profit to run the church, and they want tax benefits. And the leader of the church is Anthony Lewandowski. And the church is, of course, based in Silicon Valley, and it is focused on realization, acceptance, and worship of Godhead based in AI developed through computer hardware and software. So I'm going to pause, take a breath, see if you guys have a comment on it. I didn't mean to send you sensational stuff this week. I don't know. It just showed up, and this seems like real news out there. So let me see what the comment is. Okay. Yeah. Thank you from Brent. Okay. So anybody has comments on that? I would like to hear that. Otherwise, I will move on to more serious topics. So, I was telling you about this topic called RAG, uh, which is the latest buzzword in the world of AI. And one of the things that, as a technology futurist, I take pride in is in bringing you the latest. I mean, I hate it when there is a word like a new word, because it's coming one per new word per day. And I hate it when there is, like, something that intimidates my students, and I don't like it, right? So you must have seen, uh, where is my weekly Wednesday? So in weekly Wednesday, we had uh, our own Yashashwini Vishwanath do a session on RAG, or what is RAG, and how can you use. Yes, it is very, very interesting. I would want a stronger word than interesting, but I will take interesting for the whole Church of God's AI God story. Um, one of the, let me go back. I'm going to go back to the weekly Wednesday. So, uh, one second. So, in weekly Wednesday, we had a whole discussion and introduction to this RAG topic from our own Yashashwini Vishwanath. So here we go. And you can actually go see the archive of all past weekly Wednesdays. So you can see the four-part webinar series if you want to go through the whole lot. Ken Herron had come and done one on intelligent chatbots and how not to build a chatbot. So we have a whole bunch of things going on here. And the latest topic was from Yashashwini about RAG.
To the audience to tell me how important trust is for taking charge of the facts or the responses given.
Okay, she's talking about chatbot if you're building using your own data set, right? And that is the technology called RAG. And Professor Andrew Nigg has launched a new course, a technical course on RAG. If you want to know the no code version of what is RAG, then watch the weekly wed live stream, because you learn something about it. And one of the things I have been doing in the last Sudha live for almost 3 weeks is to show you RAG examples. So basically, uh, an LLM is a large language model that is built using data from the internet. And if you want to use your own data store, that's what companies are doing. So they want to fine tune the large language model using a small data set of their own customer data set or their own data store, right? And they want to protect the data and not put it out into the internet or some cloud, and into the API, saying, okay, like, we are going to not copy your data, not share the data, but trust us. And enterprise is not trusting of your customer data, thank God, of our customer data. And so RAG is a technology where it's called retrieval augmentation generation, retrieval augmented generation. So it is basically retrieving the data from this augmented data source and generating new responses from this data source. So the way I showed this is I did this gpt.h2o.ai. I did a demo and talked and put a document of my own book, and then we queried it a couple weeks back. So that's all RAG. And somebody told me you can do this with Bard. You can go to Bard and chat, and you can actually ask it to summarize a YouTube video, and it's essentially treating that as a RAG source and then taking the transcript from there. And then you can chat with the video about the video. So you can take any of my video, which is all public, I don't restrict it, on YouTube, and then feed it into either the gpt.h2o.ai or on Bard chat.ai, and say, summarize this for me, query that, and learn from it, right? If you don't want to watch the whole video, you can talk to it. So that's where we are going with all this. And there are various different ways of doing RAG and various different technologies of doing RAG. And that's what Yashashwini was teaching us. And there is a course from Professor Andrew Nick. So if you're in the course mode, that is something that I would recommend. There's also, talking of jobs, I need to get closer to finishing up because it's even more later than usual for me because I'm here in East Coast. There's a head of awareness and brand consideration mastery. That's the name of the title. Just the title attracted me to share this with you. And the job can be in LA or Atlanta or Chicago or Mountain View and New York and so many places, right? This is from Google. There is one job. You want me to share the window? I can do that. Okay. Um, okay. So this is the one which said um, head of awareness and brand, right? So then there's another job called Senior Strategy and Learning Officer for US program from the Melinda Gates Foundation, which I thought was very interesting. So there are a couple interesting jobs, and there is one with the hiring manager. This is from Salesforce, a responsible AI job, and this is a research scientist in Salesforce AI research. Here I'm going to share this. I will put all of this in my newsletter, Jamte newsletter, bit.ly Jamte newsletter. So this is one, and I have a hiring manager who basically says I can make a, or somebody from here from the team who says I can make a referral, apply here, but then come talk to me. So I'll put that all in our newsletter. So there's bunch of different jobs, and I found that pretty interesting because as soon as I came landed in Boston in the airport, there was this big ads everywhere from Salesforce talking about, how can you trust AI if it is not transparent. So they were like alluding to it being explainable and them producing explainable responsible AI. So here is a research position for that, which I thought was very fascinating. And this bunch of other events that's happening. There's a call for paper from Berkman Center, Howard Berkman Center. They have a group called Rebooting Social Media, or RSM, and they have like a whole cohort of visiting scholars, and they have a call for application. You want to see that? I will show that too, no problem. And I will put this out in the. I will put this out in the Jamte newsletter, so you'll get all these links. So don't worry about that. Paria will be sending that out on Monday. Monday evening is when the newsletter goes out. What else do I have? So I have a bunch of events. I went to the event. So I'm a big fan of Professor Fifi Lee, and she has a new book out. So she's talking about exploring the AI revolution at the Commonwealth Club in San Francisco on Monday. There is also an event from the Sensible lab, which is an IoT sensor lab in MIT, and they have their 20th year, so they have an event at the MIT Museum. I believe it is sold out. And then there is a climate unconference, which is coinciding with COP28 that is happening in UK by Alexandra Shapiro Sanchez, who actually does some interesting events. So, a climate unconference coinciding with COP, right? This is organized by Design Swarm. So it's an unconference. An unconference used to be my thing before, where you can show up and everybody gets to contribute content, and the conference is built. The content of the conference is built on the fly, so it is not scheduled ahead of time and set up just by invited speakers who have access to the organizers. So that's how. So you'll find that more interesting with a variety of different people. Like it's kind of everybody's equal, and you get to participate and contribute, that kind of thing. So it's an unconference. So I hope you will get to learn something. So I told you about I told you about the series of top 10 AI um, courses from LinkedIn Learning. Did Hi Adil, thank you for joining me. I hope you've been here for a while. Did you guys see the LinkedIn top 10 LinkedIn events that I was sharing, LinkedIn courses that I was sharing? Because LinkedIn has come up with this top 10 AI courses. LinkedIn Learning has come up with top 10 AI courses. I have two of my courses in AI about teaching artificial intelligence using no code, and artificial intelligence for connected products, which is IoT. Um, and I'm working on a new one on generative AI using no code. Very excited about it. Can't tell you exactly when it is coming or whatnot, but I'm building that out as we speak. And the top 10 AI courses, that is by number of users who are taking these courses, LinkedIn Learning has published that. And I'll put that also in the Jamthe newsletter. I'll put that in the LinkedIn chat here also. And they made it free till December 15th. So for those of you who are saying, what AI course should I take? How do I get started? I want to learn something on Gen AI. Check it out. I've not taken all of the courses. One of the prompt engineering courses, Talk to an AI, prompt engineering. There are two prompt engineering courses. The one from Al at Marian is the one that I have shared. I've done, and I've shared earlier, saying it's good. Check it out. There's a variety of different courses. Some hands-on, some tech, some general high-level intro. Most of them are like an hour or so. It's not too much of your time. And before December 15th, before you go into the holidays, maybe you can take one or two courses, at least two courses, I think, would add well to your certificates on LinkedIn. So shared a bunch of events, shared a couple jobs, and with that, I think I should close out and call it a day. And then next week I will do one more round. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I have one last thing. I will be going to Global South in AI social affinity group, hosting events at and poster sessions, bringing 24 amazing new authors in language AI to the New Rips conference in New Orleans on December 11th. Thank you for the reminder. Okay, almost forgot that. And this beautiful creative was done by Susanna Raj. And so December 11th is afternoon is where the poster sessions are. This is, where is this? Let me, I thought I had set it up nicely, guys. Now it is not. So there's an Eventbrite link for those of you who are going to be at New Rips. I would love for you to join live and attend this event. Let me go back, share the screen. Yes, I know I'm not sharing. Thank you for that. Um, okay, so back to sharing. Hope my voice is still working. Okay, so I love this creative. Thank you so much, Susanna. So December 11th is the Monday. We are going to be at New Rips, and we have an amazing set of workshops from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock local time in New Orleans. And we are lucky with such amazing set of speakers who are finding time. And the conference is so huge, coming to New Orleans and all that. So we're very thankful. I'm excited to learn from a whole bunch of people. So John Havens is the founding executive director of IEEE Global Innovation Initiative. IEEE Global Initiative on Ethics of Autonomous and Intelligent Systems. I have worked with John in IEEE committee. They created this P7 about standard for autonomous systems, and John is a leading force on sustainability, regenerative sustainability practice, and he's agreed to come talk to us because LLMs are burning a lot of trees. And what does that mean to be very sustainable when we are championing LLMs and going into that as the next big thing? And Susanna and I will be kicking off this program, and we'll show you what do we have in store for this year, and what does inclusivity means. When you say AI languages should be inclusive, what is the reality of that? What does that mean? And then we'll showcase some of our speakers too, right? And then Yashashwini Vishwanath, who actually talked to us about RAG, is going to be there. She's doing a PhD on machine unlearning, not machine learning. I get it auto corrected all the time. It's machine unlearning. And she's going to do a very technical research summary of what is out there in machine unlearning space. And let me go back. Okay, this is a whole bunch of us. And our own Parya Serin right here is going to be doing a poster on what have we learned with our recent call for paper. What does that, we have 24 different posters that got selected, 24 different authors who are coming in, or like more than 24 authors because there are 24 posters. And what does that mean? What was that exercise? Because we started this to add inclusiveness to language AI. And what have we learned from this call for paper? We did this last year, and we did just about AI and adding inclusion, and then the whole LLM burst into the scene. So this time our theme has been on generative AI. So Pari is going to do a learning summary poster, and then we have an amazing person. I'm so excited to and can't wait to meet Kanene IO holder, and she's got something built called diversity and inclusion, DIE. Um, GPT. And this is something that she's a diversity inclusion consultant, but she's built a GPT for it. Like, we're having chatbots doing all kinds of things, but this is a chatbot that will help bring diversity and inclusion to companies. And she has an amazing resume and things that she's done, so I can't wait. And last but not the least is Roxy Stimson. And we meet Roxy Stimson once a year during IoT Day for my crazy 24-hour live stream. And Roxy is the vice president of engineering and heads innovation at FI, and she's going to talk to us about, you're interested in LLM. Do you want to build that to be secure? Do you want it to be fail safe and scalable in a distributed fashion? Building distributed LLM is her thing. And then some of you might have heard Elisa Torres Durnay in our weekly Wednesday. She has agreed to join us and talk to us about quantum computing. She's the founder of Girls in Quantum Computing and is creating champions in 21 different countries to actually bring more quantum computing knowledge to students. And so I'm so excited by this lineup of speakers. So this is on the morning on December 11th in person. So if you are at NeurIPS, or if you know somebody who's going to NeurIPS, please make sure that you go to NeurIPS site. When you look at the schedule at Global South, check for Global South in AI, and you'll find us. And I will be sharing an Eventbrite link at in here and also in the Jamte newsletter, so you can sign up and we can get you access, because we all have small rooms and we want to make sure that we have make sure that you're able to get in. That's it. And so with that, I think I've shared my events and everything else that I had lined up for today. Maybe there's a few more jobs, but I'll put it all in the Jamte newsletter. Yes, I do this all the time. I think people get bored asking where is it every time. bit.ly/Jamte newsletter, guys. Okay, I will show that and then I'm going to take off. Last share. Hope my audio stays, and then I go away. Okay, so bit.ly/Jamte newsletter. That is where everything I shared here with you is going to be shared. And why is this not loading? Yes. And this is where you will see the latest Jamte newsletter. This is the one we did 2 weeks back uh, with just before I went off for Thanksgiving. And so you can see all the links. We did a small one that time. So I need to give you a previous one, which has everything. So you will see the call for papers. You will see the Sudha live link. You will see the weekly Wednesday link. Then you will see this is our authors who got accepted at the 24 papers that I was telling you about. And then the various jobs and the call for papers, then events, and I usually add a bunch of reading resources. So this time I will add the courses I was telling you from LinkedIn Learning, and few more things, the data poisoning one, the nightshade, and things like that. So enjoy, read it, do what you want to do. And with that, I'm going to close out. Thank you, everybody who stayed back, especially when Zoom just shut down my audio, and for all of you to come back and tell me. I really appreciate it, so we could have a chat. So I appreciate that. And with that, I'm going to close out. Have a wonderful weekend. I will see you all back at Weekly Vet next week, and I will see you back at Sudha Live. Stay safe. Have a fabulous weekend. Bye, everybody. Ciao. To stop the live.